welcome back to a Chandler's channel. I'm Tracy and I'm your host, and today's episode is our intuitive weekly vlog, and we're doing it on depression. We're keeping along the same theme as the winter blues, which was our last intuitive vlog. So if you haven't had a chance to have a listen to that, please do. I will embed it either in the description box or somewhere in this video, so you can easily link to it. And once I finish this video, I'll make a playlist on mental health, so it'll have the depression vlog, it'll have the suicide vlog, and it'll also have the winter blues vlog. And I'd like to be able to add Reiki to that vlog, which I hope to be able to do, or sorry, to that playlist, which I hope to be able to do in the next coming weeks, because there's such great tips on helping you to get through this season, and ways to heal yourself and help you along your journey. Alright, so depression. A lot of people have it, a lot of people hide from it, a lot of people mask it, and a lot of people don't even realize they have it. And you know, it is one of those things that is really affecting society, and we're trying to get people to take the masks off, for there not to be a stigma surrounding it, or for people to stereotype those who are depressed, because really what it is quite like the common cold or a flu. It happens, but because it's to do with the mental health, there is a stigma surrounding it. So there are many people breaking down the barriers regarding that, and God bless them, because it is so important for people to talk and to get the support that they require, so that they can move forward on their paths in life, on their journey in life. And that's whether it's through management of depression or whether it's through healing. I mean, personally, I think there's so many variables involved, and I don't think you can't pull people into a certain box. I think everybody's individual, and I think you have to take it from an individual stance. And I think we as a society have to become more sympathetic towards those who are depressed. And it doesn't matter whether you're a long-term standing depressed person, or if you're someone who's just going through a short-term depression. And I think depression can come from of course, the loss of someone, or even the loss of a job, or the loss of a pet, the loss of any type of loved one, whether it was a boyfriend or a spouse. I have a vlog on loss, actually, and the many ways it can come that we don't realize it. And so you can have that grief that comes, and that can be depression, but I think it's more grief. And again, these are my opinions, right? And I'm not prescribing, and I'm certainly not, diagnosing. That's something that you have to do with your medical practitioner, or your health team, or your family, and go get yourself the help. I'm certainly not, an expert on it. I'm simply just here trying to help break down the stigma and the stereotype that come from it. Like, I have said, where I began this channel because of 2 teenage suicides that happened in my own community, and they were quite prominent teenagers, at least their parents were, therefore making them. And then we had a murder-suicide, and then we had a double murder-suicide. And so, it's important for me to be here and help people and make us realize, like, we're all a people. We all have our problems. If it's not depression, it's going to be addiction. If it's not addiction, maybe it's going to be abuse, right? You're going to have anger issues, or there's so many things. And if you don't have any of those, maybe then you're going to come into contact with some disease, right? So we are all imperfectly perfect. And to think that someone is better than another person because, well, hey, they don't have depression, well, you have a big surprise on your way, because you may think that, oh, well, they're depressed, I don't want to live with them. But then you go find someone else that you love, and that person ends up with cancer. And so you know what? Life is just one big journey, and we're all in it together, and we all need to help each other through it, because we all go through stuff. Don't kid yourself. That person that's out there that's joyfully happy in front of you all the time, when they go home and they're actually alone, I'm sure there's things that they go through. And if they're never alone, then I would question that, right? Because to keep ourselves busy constantly, so we never really have to sit down and think and feel our problems or feel our sadness. Well, isn't that what our society is? We're always busy, 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 and it makes us look so important, right? But you know what? When you finally stop and smell the roses, that's when it hits you. And if you don't make that choice to do it, then you get hit in the head with a brick or something, right? Where you end up with an illness or a disease, or you get injured, or there's an accident. I mean, there's multiple things that can happen that make you step back and take a look at yourself. So don't judge those people who are depressed. Be sympathetic and tender to them, because that is what they need. They don't need your judgment. They don't need your harsh words. They don't need your like, oh, come on, man. Like, can't you just get out of it? What? You're depressed? Sad? Oh, again? You know, they don't need that, because that's just going to make it worse and more troublesome for them, because they're already feeling unsupported and like they don't matter, or they're not worthy. And if you are someone who's struggling with depression, you are worthy, and you do matter, and you are important. To me, to God. If anyone, look up. You are a child of God. And even if you are not someone who is religious, and even if you're an atheist and you don't believe, there is a greater being around us that surrounds us with love. And you can feel the love. Just go out in nature. You'll see the love out in nature. There's so much love. You will feel it. But you do matter. And you need to know that. And if there's anything I think mostly I want to say is, you matter. All right. So that is my part of the vlog. Let's see what Whitehawk has to say regarding depression. Sorry, I have to get myself all comfortable, right, when I do this. Okay. Indeed, he says. So much is said surrounding depression these days that it does leave you with, pardon me, with indigestion. That's what I have. It does leave you with indigestion, he says. And so for many people, it is a difficult stigma, he says, to overcome. It is a difficult stereotype to overcome, he says, but with the right medicines and the right path and the right supportive team, he says, you will be on your way in no time. But the problem is finding the right medicine. The problem is finding the right path. The problem is finding the right team. Because I do not believe that so many people understand the actual root cause of depression. And although it is different for many, it is the same for many. And the reason why I want to point this out to you, children, is because the root cause simply comes down to this. You are a child of God who has become lost in the world's stigma of what a great and grand person is supposed to look like or be. And so what happens is you try to be that person. You try to fit in. You put on the clothing. It looks good. It feels good for a while. But then it becomes difficult to keep up. And therein lies the problem, children. Therein lies the problem. The problem is this: you cannot keep up. It is too difficult to keep up. Because we are churning out so much, so fast, at such a high rate that no one is capable of keeping up. And so we think, oh my gosh, I can't keep up, and if I can't keep up, then I'm nobody. And if I'm nobody, then who am I? And alas, you've arrived at the problem-solving stage. The problem-solving stage where you finally put your hands up, or throw in the towel, or wave that white flag and say, I can't do this anymore. I can't be that person. I can't be this person. I can't even be me. And so then you realize, well, who am I? Who do I want to be? Who have I always wanted to be? Who have I always been? And you take that journey. And now I'm getting a visual of someone on, well, I was going to say horseback, but it's more like on, is it a donkey or a mule? Now, which is the one that's the cross between a donkey and a mule? Sorry, a donkey and a horse. There's a hybrid. Because it's not a horse, but it looks like a donkey, but it's bigger than whatever a donkey, right? So I see people riding this, and I see them, gosh, it feels like you are on, what is that trail? Like a car. The El Camino. People are on this trail, the El Camino trail, and they are journeying. They're taking a pilgrimage, and they are coming back to themselves. And Whitehawk says, yes, such an apropos visual. Could there have not been a more profound visual, Tracy says, for us to find for this situation? You are journeying. You are now taking your pilgrimage to find out who's Tracy, who's Joe, who's Jane, who's Whitehawk, who's whatever your name is. You are on that journey to see who you are. And along that journey, you're going to find many things you like, but you're also going to find many things you dislike. And on that journey, you're going to find much joy, but you're also going to find much hate. But through it all, when you arrive at your destination, you are going to find who is Jane, who's Joan, who is Tracy, who is Whitehawk, who is Max. You are going to find who you are. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is very, very profound. Extremely profound. Because now you've arrived at a point in time where you know who you are and the realization of why you have arrived here at your destination. But not only your destination, but why you have arrived here on earth and what your purpose is. And now you begin to live your life with purpose and on purpose. And with on purpose and in purpose, you will find happiness, much joyfulness. Much happiness, much joyfulness, he says, more than you could have ever imagined. So my last words to you are, children, you are on a pilgrimage. Be kind, yet gentle with yourself. Be kind, yet gentle with others around you who do not understand you, who could not possibly encounter that which you have gone through to arrive at this point in time in your life. But be blessed, children, when you arrive at this point, and celebrate, oh so celebrate, when you arrive at this point of knowing why you have arrived here on earth, and now that you can live your life with purpose and on purpose. Be blessed with this blessing and more, he says, as you continue your journey on earth. And you will feel more blessed and grateful that depression helped you find the part of you that had been lost and or missing for such a very long time. Blessed children, he says. And he's on top of his horse, and he blows us that kiss, and then he rides off. Thanks, sweetheart. But before we go, before he actually rides off, there's a woman, child. It's hard to know because I think she looks older than her years because life has been hard and difficult on her. So I can't really guess her age. But she comes to Whitehawk's feet because he's on a horse, right? And so she's not a very big woman. And she holds his foot, like to get his attention, and then he looks down and she looks up at him. And she says, "Kind sir, I am ever so grateful for the words you have just granted us. Please know, or please take this as my token of appreciation and love for your words and advice to us, to help us during our most challenging and difficult years." And she gets down on like one knee, and she bows her head to him, and he says to her, he goes like this, he says, "Rise up, child," he says, "there is no need for your praise," he says, "I am simply here because I want to be here, and I know you are all good children, but I also know that you need the love and the devotion that you have so much been asking for and looking for. And I'm here and I can give you that. Because you are good children. You are kind children. You are blessed children. But you just haven't known it." And she just keeps her head bowed. She kind of nods like, yes. And off he goes with his high horse Silver. Thanks, Whitehawk. God bless. Well, I bet you that's not a reading or something you've probably ever heard about depression. Well, I hope those words help you, that you find comfort and solace and knowing in them. If you could please share this recording with others, or maybe they are suffering with depression, or there are others around them that they know that are suffering with depression, we can help each other get up and move forward on our journey and realize what our purpose is here on earth and live our life with and on purpose. As usual, we have our intuitive weekly reading on Sundays, so join us then for more intuitive insight and guidance for your week ahead. In fact, I'm about to record that video. All right. Well, I want to thank those new people who have subscribed recently. Welcome. And to all my subscribers who have been with us, well, you know I'm always very grateful for you. Okay, guys, subscribe, like, let me know if you enjoyed what you see. God God bless, and we'll see you here on Sunday. I'm Tracy for a Chandler's Channel.